Hi, Susan, Shine, Carlin, Shine on Soul Center. And I wanted to reach out to you all right now because we have some really interesting circumstances going on globally. And so this is just an extra vid set aside, not intended to do anything except hopefully help you out by sharing some things that have helped me here in the last week and specifically the last few days. So, first, I want to start with a shout out because I'm really loving people putting themselves out there, especially people who may not usually do a lot of videos. So, yesterday I enjoyed a great video from Andy Youngmark at Youngmark Homes. He's a realtor in the Southern California area, and it was just a very authentic, heartfelt video, and it was great to hear his voice. He's somebody that I know and love, and to have that sense of connection. And also a huge shout out to Colby Rebel, and that's Rebel. Her pro page on Facebook is fantastic too, and she did a couple pieces yesterday that really resonated with me. I'm going to do a little bit of copying pasting with some of her information. She is my master teacher for my spiritual work and someone that I also really look up to. And so a lot of what she had to say really resonated and mirrored some things I had gone to bed thinking about the night before and then woke up thinking about yesterday morning. And then it was just really nice again to have that sense of connectedness. And even though we can't reach out and touch each other right now, but to hear somebody that you appreciate, just the sound of their voice right now helps a lot. So getting into what's really, really helped me is I went down the rabbit hole last week when all the news started rolling out. And I'm not someone who usually watches a ton of news. But I found myself literally going down the rabbit hole for like 5-6 hours at a time, just jaw dropping, understanding the magnitude of what was going on. And, those are hours of my life I will never get back. I think it is really, really important to stay informed, to be abreast of what's going on around us. But what I found is that I didn't feel any better. I didn't have any more satisfaction and understanding. I didn't get anything really out of the first blush of hearing the situation and hearing what's going on and seeing the closures and the school closures and the business closures but after that first initial phase of the media, the other 4 hours I spent really didn't do a whole lot for me. And I felt like, I was absorbing a lot of this global energy in a negative way. The other thing that I found, so what I've done differently, what's helping me, is to check in the morning and in the evening. And I think I'm even going to start setting a timer because it's really, really easy as humans to get, for me anyway, to get sucked in. And it really doesn't, after I get the basic facts and the breaking news, it really doesn't behoove me to spend hours and hours plugged into the news. Quite the opposite. And the other thing about the news that I found is that, albeit we have a reality of a situation that is very serious, but the what ifs in the media right now tend to all be incredibly negative, and we don't know what's going to happen. We know what's happening now. But for example, what if there's a recession? What there is a recession coming our way? What if we get super fat, while we're locked down on shut-in? Just from A to Z, horrific what ifs keep coming at us. What if this? What if that? But I found in my experience that they're predominantly really negative. And so again, that doesn't tend to do anything positive for me, to do anything that actually affects my reality. So that's how I'm handling the media right now. Just checking in the morning and the evening. I know there's so, anxiety and depression are real issues. And those of us that don't have those things to contend with on a normal basis, I feel like everyone is so fraught with panic from the pandemic. It's creating, all kinds of emotional chaos. And so that's a big reason that I wanted to reach out with some things that can have helped me just absorb and and carry on in the midst of what's happening all around us. Excuse me. So the other thing that I do is I decided to shift my mindset, and we all know it's facts, energy facts, that what we focus on expands, right? And clearly we're all focused on this awful virus, right? And the realities of what it has done, and again, what we're frightened that it's going to do, whether it's illness or financial impact, limited opportunities, etc. So in shifting my mindset, again, I'll use the media as a perfect example of I'm turning it backwards. So I'm thinking, well, what if I really invest in taking great care of my body during this time of being, having shelter in place in California, but I'm still able to walk the dog. And now that I'm working less, I can actually walk the dog. I can go outside. I can exercise multiple times a day. Whereas before I would limit it to, the 40, 45 minutes a day that I had to dedicate to my fitness. And so that to me is a great example. Like, what if I come out more healthy than I did before this happened as far as my physical health? What if I invest in pouring into my business, on the back side of my business, some of the things I don't really love doing, some of the, social media updating on the back end, working on the back end of my website. What if I spend even more time with my family via phone and in person with my son, that is life-changing for all of us, that this time that we wouldn't normally have. So I'm trying to focus on the positive what ifs, and then changing my mindset even within my morning meditation. And trust me, there's no preaching about me. I'm just sharing with what works for me. And again, whether it's praying, meditating, stating gratitude, whatever your belief system is, I respect it, and I pass no judgment at all. It's whatever works for you, I believe is what's best for you. And anything I'm saying is with the intention of being inclusive and, non-denominational, really non-religious, just focusing on my spiritual work, my spirituality, my belief system, but also encompassing and accepting yours. And, as a side note real quick, I think when we have everything's great and rosy and, we're making lots of money and our family's happy and healthy and everything's rocking along, no matter what your faith system is, it's just real easy, to go with that. It's really when you, when the proof is in the pudding, when it hits the fan, and whatever your belief system is really called on to, it puts it to a test, right? And I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in a positive mindset. I believe in what we focus on expands, either negatively or positively. I believe in raising my vibration and sending out that higher level of energy. And so it's difficult in difficult times to keep that vibration up, but I digress. So anyway, I'm appreciating the test, if you will, right now. But back to my morning meditation that I do. And I have decided here recently this week to, again, in the spirit of what we focus on expands, to flip the script, so to speak, and really do a specific intention and meditation on global healing. And healing meaning physically, spiritually, relationships, sitting with ourselves, healing of the planet, healing of all of these beautiful creatures that are on our planet, but sitting with that and really envisioning like tons of healthy pink lungs, global healing in every possible way as a potential benefit. And I also want to state very clearly with this video that my heart goes out with huge compassion and love, and sending, strength. If you have the virus, if you have, strong symptoms with the virus, and of course, if you've lost a loved one to the virus, I'm in no means trying to minimize any of that by all of what I'm saying in this video. Okay, I'm just trying to help us all get through it the best we can right now. So that's that on shifting mindset. Gratitude. And I'm not being cliche with this. Again, it raises our vibration. So focusing on, what I have to be grateful right now in the now. What I know, looking around me, I'm grateful. Hey, we may not have toilet paper, but I've got potatoes and oranges. I've got some soup in the cupboard. I've got 2 things of mac and cheese. I feel like a gangsta, right? So kind of taking a breath, taking a look around to see what is before our eyes. We have this opportunity to still get out in nature. They haven't shut down outdoors, to listen to music, whatever brings you pleasure. And again, I think it's interesting because we've been stripped of a lot of our escape mechanisms, right? And we all have them, again, no judgment. But, we're not running around taking the kids to practice and then coming home and watching a game, or going out to concerts, or, whatever your diversionary tactic is. A lot of those distractions have been removed. And I'm grateful right now for this shutting out of the noise, to be honest, and to be able to focus and to see the good in these flowers that somebody at Trader Joe employee just handed me. I love that. I'm trying to focus on the gratitude that's around us, that my 2 legs, thank God, are working, that I can see clearly, pretty clearly, stuff like that, right? So focusing on the now, focusing on what we do have to be grateful for, always tends to raise our vibration, which helps, by the way, helps our immune system. Facts. Sitting around and worrying, stressing out, freaking out, panicking, physically, literally, from what I'm hearing over and over from medical professionals this week, some are friends, reduces your immune system's capabilities. What boosts physically, scientifically, your immune system's capabilities is raising that vibration, is being positive, is the gratitude work, all the different things I'm mentioning. Raise your immune system. Facts. So I wanted to share that. And again, raising the vibration, just being cognizant of things that do that. Keeping our sense of humor is so important right now, even though there's some very serious things going on. I think it's really important to, when the dog does something funny, let it hit you. That tickle your funny bone. That raises your vibration. When you hear a great song come on the radio and you can dance like no one's looking, because they're not right now. But like those kinds of things, that any opportunity we have to even appreciate, not only the gesture of this flower, but the beauty of it. And to spend a minute, just not a minute maybe, but to consciously say, this is really beautiful. All those positive acts raise our vibration, and in turn raise our immune system, and in turn send out really positive information to the universe that can promote wellness and well-being, and us all getting through this together. I also think that I know one of the things that's really, really helped me change, do the shift is, again, shout out to Colby Rebel. She is one tough cookie, but man, she makes sense. And she kind of gave me a face slap in love yesterday when during her video she mentioned, this is and this is what resonates with me, that this is definitely a time to focus on our business. For those of us that own our own business, And if we choose not to, if we choose to sit and wallow and mire and freak out and we're stuck in the house and negative mindset, when this is over, because it is going to be over, this is temporary, you're going to look back and go, whoa, I had this time, I had this gift, I could have done all kinds of things, and instead I'm playing catch up, because we are going to come back around, and life will go on for most of us, and it's important to do what you can now to invest in this time that you have. I feel like, for me, this helps me too, to take this time as the gift that it is. Weird gift, oddly wrapped, definitely, don't get me wrong, but to take advantage of this time. And I think this comes in the form of whether, you own your own business or not. If you're, and by the way, thank you again to all the first responders, all the medical, the grocery store people, the delivery people. Thank you so much, all of you. But if you are working from home, if you are a 9 to 5, 8 to 5 employee with a paycheck, and you're having the opportunity to work from home, so whether you own your own business or not, I feel like this is what's helping me, is to do a deep dive into myself. So whether you own your own business or not, you may end up doing it. I would encourage you to think about where your passions lie right now. And, if it is the current job or business that you have, yay, keep going, keep doing it. If it's something else, something that's been kind of in the back of your mind, sort of, hey, I'm going to get to that someday thing. I have one. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to get to that someday. Whenever I have time. Once I get this done, once I get that done. And that's a real passion of mine. My passion is to end teen suicide. I have a story I want to tell. I want to do this. I want to get this out. And I find myself doing anything but sitting down and working on that book. So again, no judgment, but I feel like this is another helpful way for me to get through, is to think, okay, what is in my control and what isn't? So what's not in my control is the stock market. Who gets sick? What is happening? What is in my control is to stay aware, stay focused on what I can do as far as, sheltering in and being responsible with that, the distancing, etc., and staying home as much as you can, or as much as I can. I'll speak for myself. But anything outside of that, I really can't control, whether we have a recession or not, right? But what I can control is this list of things that I've been going over, and the opportunity, like I said, to explore some passions, to take time doing those things that I said I would get to one day. I'll just put it like that. And then, in that same vein, really thinking out of the box. This is an opportunity for us to maybe never ever be the same again, in a better way, in the overall picture. And what I mean by that is thinking of a different way to go about your business, or to go about business with your family, or the time and ways that you spend with your pets. I mean, anything right now is up for reevaluation and thinking completely differently about it than maybe I ever have before. And even though I know where my passions lie in ending teen suicide, right? And in doing my spiritual work and giving up the corporate life to do that, what I'm realizing is I dig deeper, it's like, ooh, I'd really like to look into doing spiritual retreats with groups of women in beautiful places. I hadn't thought about that. I've been so busy with the busy work of life. So it's helping me to think out of the box, to be able to do, I've got a good one. I'm inviting you, actually, if you're interested, drop me a comment if this is appealing to you. I feel like, social distancing is not the right term. It's physical distancing. And socially, like I said, we need each other more maybe now than ever. And so I'm looking at out of the way box type of stuff, like this is a linear conversation. It's helpful, but I want to hear from you. I want to engage. I need that physical piece like you do, like we're all human, most of us do. And so I want to invite you, if you're interested, in joining me for an open discussion about pretty much anything you want, as far as, owning a business, real estate even, spirituality, anything along those lines, being a dog mom, a single mom. I would encourage you to hit me up if you're interested in me setting up a Zoom. So Zoom's free. We can have up to 100 people for 40 minutes, totally free. And we can interact with each other with respecting the physical distancing, but still getting that socialness that we need, that social interaction, especially if you're, working from home alone or, single parent, alone. I've been there, done that. So drop me a line if that's of interest to you, and let's do some cool out of the box Zoom stuff. I'll follow up with more on that later if there's interest, but that's a great example of, I'm not doing this for anything except to make people feel better. Like that's what's on my heart, is to do the best we can with what we have right now, and to recognize what we do have, and not to fear so much what we don't know is going on. Just accept that we're doing the best we can, and to go forward and hopefully have some new ways of treating each other and looking at the world and looking at ourselves and etc. going forward. So the Zoom piece is, for me, an out-of-the-box way for us to connect. I've thrown it out to a couple of my girlfriend groups, like, hey, you want a happy hour? Let's pick a time and just, have a glass of wine together and, virtually, and just to have that discourse, that social discourse, and see each other while we're doing it. So that's it for me. I love you all. Let me know if you have any questions, if there's anything I can do. And here we go. We're going to stay strong, and we're going to get through this. All right. Thanks so much.